So, if I had to highlight one pressing issue, it would actually be the financing gap that is needed to close this persistent gender inequality that actually exists. And it'd be interesting to hear what Liz has to say about this, in terms of the fact that we have found that women entrepreneurs, leaders, and women-led organizations consistently receive less funding, not because they lack potential, not because there is not a business opportunity there, but because traditional investment models and philanthropic structures have historically overlooked them. Just to share some data, in Asia, women-led businesses receive less than 5% of total private equity and venture capital funding. In philanthropy, we find that women's movements remain underfunded despite their proven effectiveness in advancing policy change, economic development, and social well-being. So this is why gender lens investing is crucial. We need to ensure that capital is not just available, but is intentionally directed towards women. And at AVPN, we work with funders and investors across the continuum of capital to integrate gender as a key investment criteria, ensuring that women have the financial backing to lead, innovate, and scale impact-driven solutions like the menstrual solutions that Liv is driving.
The biggest issue, or one of the key issues that we need to tackle, is funding for women-led businesses and initiatives. And I would add to that, specifically within the work that we do, that we have seen that women's health specifically experiences its own challenges when it comes to funding. I can talk about that, I think, from two key aspects. So the first, and this word blows my mind when we hear it used in relation to women's health, but all too often the work that we do and my peers in the women's health industry are dismissed as having solutions for something that is far too niche. So women's health, despite being something that affects, well, certainly half the population, but in fact the entire population, because let's face it, women are, in many cases, the primary caregivers at home, an issue that Naina already touched upon. So if women are not well and we are not getting the healthcare and support that we need to be healthy, then this arguably affects the entire world's population. So to call and to dismiss these solutions and these problems as niche is something that really, really needs to change. And it's a persistent issue that, like I said, it frustrates myself and my peers no end. The second would be the stigma around these topics and the fact that it might be changing a little bit now and certainly has changed a lot over the last few years. But when I started LUÜNA and was reaching out to investors around 2018-19, when we were just getting off the ground, investors would not even take meetings with me. The questions they asked when they did meet with me were very, very stigmatized and had a lot of bias in them, which meant that those conversations that were meant to result in critical funding for us to bring our initiatives to life ultimately just were a waste of time due to the lack of education and, like I said, the stigma around these topics. So women entrepreneurs and leaders are typically underfunded because of the bias held against us as leaders, but even more so when it comes to women's health, we see other systemic issues that result in us not getting the funds that we need.